AI for data analytics. AI is not the future, it is the present. AI is changing the way we work, it's changing the industries, it's transforming the businesses, and it's reimagining how we work. Especially if you are in data analytics, AI is not just a tool anymore, it is the game changer. Hi everyone, this is Dr. Humera and I am your data and AI mentor. In this exclusive episode on AI for data analytics, we will have a look at how we can use the AI tools like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, DeepSeek, the name doesn't matter, how we can use these tools to do data analytics in a much more effective way. So let's put things into action. We will be using the same dataset that we were using in our previous modules, the Amazon sales dataset, and this time we will use an AI tool for doing the analysis. So let's move to our AI tool. What you see on the screen is Perplexity. This is the one that we will be using for this tutorial, but it's totally up to you which tool you want to use. ChatGPT, Claude, DeepSeek, each one of them have their own advantages and disadvantages. My recommendation would be to pick up one or two of these tools. I very broadly use ChatGPT and Perplexity, and when the quota hits for one, then I move to the other. Sometimes I note that in certain cases, one tool works better than the other. So don't be overwhelmed by the quantity of the tools out there, but have a little bit of diversity. So two tools are actually good to start with. So today I decided to use Perplexity. How do we want to get started? One of the things that we want to do is, first of all, we want to make sure that our data is with the tool. Again, remember we spoke about this earlier, that always be very careful when uploading your data to any third-party tool. So make sure that you never upload any private information, any user information, anything that you don't want any third party to know about. Don't upload any such information. For this exercise, we are going to use the amazon.csv file on which we were working so far, and we will upload it to Perplexity and ask it questions. So let's upload our dataset. So you can, using this button, attach images, files, and anything else that you want. We search for our amazon.csv file and upload that. So you select the file and you click open. First of all, now it's reading this file. First of all, you need to make sure that it is able to read the file properly. And for this, you can actually ask a statement as the following, that read this file and tell me how many data points are there. Just to be sure how many columns, how many rows are there, you can ask it to print the name of the column so that you are sure that it's able to read the whole data. So you can here specify, read the file amazon.csv and tell me how many rows and columns are there. Also list the parameter names. We want to make sure that our file is being read correctly. Okay, I have read the amazon.csv. Here's the information you requested. There are 14 rows and there are 16 columns. This is definitely not the right information. 16 is correct, and we can see that it is writing the correct elements. We had the product ID, name, category, discounted price, and towards the end there was image link and product link. That's right, but there are not 14 rows. So you can specify that this is not correct. There are over 1,000 rows in the data. Please check. AI tools can definitely make mistakes. They are very good. They are doing phenomenal jobs, but we always need to be sure that we can trust the results that they are giving us. So the credibility lies on us. We can't just rely on these tools with closed eyes. So you use it to improve your efficiency, you use it to expand your scope, but always make sure that whatever you do, you are able to stand behind your results. So now, yes, apologies. There are now 1465 rows identified and 16 columns. We can quickly go back to our Amazon sales dataset that we had imported in Google Sheets and check how many data points were there originally. And here we can see that 1466, so one is the header row, so 1465. Now it got it correct. It is actually giving you a little apology and an explanation. Okay, so now what do we want to do? You have the opportunity to literally do all those steps that you had done in data analytics pipeline, the cleanup, the preparation, the descriptive analysis, the exploratory analysis, and so on and so forth, step by step over here as well. But if you want to take a shortcut and literally go ahead, ask questions, you can do that. And now that we know that it could make a mistake in reading the whole file, we would like to actually ensure that it is always reading the full file. So let's start by asking it about our favorite topic, our topic under discussion, which was customer behavior, customer satisfaction, and ask it about the rating. So how much is the rating, which category has the best ratings, which product category has the worst ratings. So let's ask questions about the customer satisfaction. So let's explore customer satisfaction. Looking at all the 1465 rows, what can you tell me about the customer satisfaction? That's too much of satisfaction, but let's see. Important thing is if you can be as specific as possible, then you will get more relevant answer. But it's totally up to you. You can also leave your initial questions broad so that it can give you some more context, and it might give you some answers on the basis of areas which you might not have thought of. So let's see, what does it say? So let me increase the size a little bit so it's easier to read. Okay, I have analyzed the provided file and assessed customer satisfaction. Here is what I can tell you. So rating, this is the most direct measure. That's correct. Rating count, the number of ratings provided in context to the average rating, that's important. That's correct. Review title and review content, that's also the two parameters that we used a lot. So that's it is going in the right direction. Then the general assessment to provide. Now it's also giving you an explanation of how it actually came to that conclusions. And this should also help you develop further as a data analyst. So now you would also know that, okay, in order to calculate customer satisfaction from this data set, these were the four metrics or four parameters that I can use. And this is the process. Calculate average rating. This is something that we did. Analyze rating distribution. Examine the distribution of ratings. Remember the histogram that we created. So that's also something that we did. It is going in the right direction. Identify highly rated products. So products with 4.5 plus ratings. Identify low rated products for ratings with our which are 2.5 or lower, and text analysis of reviews. So the process it is identifying is totally right. So now imagine if you are a data analyst in a domain which is new for you, and you don't know which parameters to look at, which procedures to look at, then this kind of evaluation, this kind of support can actually help you in building up your expertise and your skill level as well. It also specifies some caveats and limitations like bias, data quality, subjectivity, and no direct customer satisfaction score. In conclusion, by analyzing these, we can determine. So now let's ask it to do it. So, okay, let's make it more concrete. Tell me the top rated products and the worst rated products as well. Okay, use the full data set that is 1465 rows. This is what we are getting. So now I have analyzed the full data set to determine the best and worst rated product categories. Here's the summary of my findings. It is telling us what are the category which it extracted, the average rating calculation that it did, and then the sorting. So here are the best 5 product categories based on average rating. So this looked good because when we were doing our top analysis, computers and accessories, electronics was also coming out to be on the top. And then for the worst category, it was 2.5 and ratings below 2, around 2 as well. Now it is also specifying observation and considerations like the specific categories, the sample size. We need to make sure that we are also looking at the data which is representative. So maybe just one person said a very bad product and most of them said it's a good product, but if we are just looking at one person's comments, then it's actually biased, and so on and so forth. It's also recommending what future analysis can be done. So for example, minimum review count threshold, ratings distribution, sentiment analysis of reviews, pricing as a factor as well. Let's ask it about more questions that we covered last time when we were doing the data analysis in a manual way. And let's check if there is any link between pricing and ratings. So here is the question that can you tell me if there is any link between price and ratings? And here is the answer. I have analyzed the provided data set. It somehow reverted back to 5 rows, and we need to make sure that it looks at the whole data and not just the 5 rows. But this is what it has to say. But since it is only looking at the top 5 rows, this is not really the right answer. So I'll skip below and I'll point it out that look at the full data set. Can you tell me if there is any link between price and ratings? And now it is giving us that after analyzing the complete data set, here is the methodology and here is the results. It started with data cleanup. So again, that's the good thing that we had to do this manually, separately, every step. But here, the tool knows that in order to give a reliable answer, it needs to clean up the data. So here it cleaned up the data and handled missing values, if any, in actual price and the ratings. These are the 2 columns where we are looking at. So we are not talking about discount prices, which we checked. Rather, we are looking at prices and ratings, and then convert the actual price to a numerical format. We had also cleaned up the data and removed the currency symbol. So, and now it is doing the correlation analysis. And then it can develop the visuals as well, and so on and so forth. So after performing the analysis, here is what it has found. And I'll jump directly to the interpretation that there is weak correlation, and this was our finding as well. The coefficient the correlation coefficient was very small, for close to zero for the ratings and the price. And if we want to have a quick look at that, we can go to the stats table, and here we can see that our correlation was also coming out to be very weak when we calculated it for discount price versus rating. So here this is again confirmed, and this is a weak correlation, and there is no linear relationship. This was again something that we were able to find out and display in our report as well, that there is no relationship between the pricing, the discounts, and customer satisfaction. It gives us some possible explanations as well, and then it gives the recommendations for further analysis as well. Now let's ask it another question. Looking at the full data set, what are the categories and products with very low ratings, and what are the reasons behind that? So basically, again, we would like to know further deeper into the ratings which are not very good and why they are not very good. Again, it messed up and read only 6 rows to identify categories, and it also is telling us that it will consider a very low rating as 3.5 or below. So now we have a chance to specify that, hey, first look at the whole data set, and second, we don't want 3.5 to be included in very low ratings, rather anything which is below 3 should be considered as very low. So we skip all the explanation that it gave and reiterate that look at the full data set, what are the categories and products with low ratings, and by low ratings we are specifying below 3, and what are the reasons behind that. So now it has the full data set, and it's specifying its methodology again, that it is filtering, so filtering out the data which is less than 3, identifying the category, and then review analysis, and then finally summarization. And here is the findings. That number of products with ratings below 3, so there are only 5 products. This was something that we also noticed, that there were only a few products which had rating was below 3, and these were the categories. So the electronics, FM transmitters, and data cards. And now it's going further. And this is actually super cool because it is now able to read those reviews, summarize them, aggregate them properly, and present it to us in a way that it makes sense. So for example, the functionality issues were mentioned. It stopped working. Several reviews mentioned the product ceased to function shortly after purchase, or there were connectivity problems, or there were sound quality problems. Then the build quality and durability, so poor quality materials, they were fragile, and then misleading description or expectation, so it's not as advertised. So now it's able to identify, read those reviews, and then summarize, bring us a summarized review. So this is actually super valuable if you are into, let's say, marketing analysis, you are in social media analysis, and you want to do some analysis and reports on what are your customer sentiments, what causes them to be satisfied, what causes to give them a negative feedback. You can actually read the posts, you can actually read out the comments, and get a summary. So this kind of tool, AI tools, are very good in looking at the data and summarizing. So not only in this customer feedback that we are getting here, rather you can also look at the posts from the forums and summarize them. And here is the summary and insights, and then ultimately some recommendations. And now we want to ask it that if it can create a report or a slide deck with the above analysis on customer behavior. So just like we created a report, we want it to create a report for us as well. And then here is what we have. So customer behavior, Amazon product data, title slide, the customer behavior analysis, insights from the Amazon product data, And the subtitle can be Understanding Customer Satisfaction and Purchase Drivers. It's giving us the um, a subtitle and then some placeholders. Now here is the executive summary. Let's see how well this aligns with the summary that we created. So overall customer satisfaction is generally positive, but with notable variations across product categories. I want to take you back to our bigger findings, and here we also said that it was overall positive and there was nothing alarming, and this is now confirmed. Then price has a weak correlation with customer ratings. Value, like features versus price, seems to be more influential. This is something that we also identified, that price and ratings are not directly proportional to each other. Next, reliability and durability are major drivers of customer satisfaction or dissatisfaction. Okay, good to know. Computers and accessories category has both top rated and bottom rated subcategories, indicating diverse performance. This is not directly related to what we identified, but this could be something that we can explore further. And then if there was any other significant trends, so this is also guiding us. Key recommendations and next step. So what's next? Focus on improving product reliability and durability, ensure accurate product descriptions, investigate and address issues in low rated categories, and so on and so forth. And this was exactly the same direction where we were going with our recommendations. So of course, we spoke about the country as well, but here we want to focus more on the categories and explore and do a quick a quality check on products with ratings below 3 and establish communication and decide on how we want to handle these relationships moving forward. And here it is focusing on exactly that point. Then there are a few slides on data overview and methodology. It is describing everything so you can keep as much as you want, and then overall customer satisfaction and price and takeaway. So then it also specified that you can have a table like this and more product information and key issues. And then towards the end, it asks if we want to have a, what do we want to do next? Should we ask for more help from Perplexity and ask it to fill in more details? So let's ask it to replace the placeholders and be more concrete. So here is kind of a final presentation. So title, you have again your key bullet points, key recommendations, and it's also giving us that price versus rating. It was a weak correlation, and then these are the top rated products with this average rating. These are the worst rated products, and these are the ratings, and then some recommendations, and so on and so forth. So you see, basically what we did in the last few tutorials, we were able to reproduce our assessment, reproduce our analysis in such a short time without going through manually each and every step. And we use this tool to actually do the analysis for us. This was AI for data analytics in practice. Whether you followed just this session or covered the full course, one thing is clear: AI is not optional anymore for data analytics. It's the accelerator that turns hours of work into minutes. It's the insight generator to uncover patterns that you may have missed otherwise. And it's the storyteller that helps you present your data in an impactful way. But here's the catch: AI is not here to replace you, it's here to empower you. AI cannot ask good questions, it cannot identify the business case. That's your job and that's your expertise as the data analyst. So, yes, go ahead, use it to multiply your efficiency by 10 times or even more. Be faster, be smarter, be more effective, be more strategic. But remember, AI is your co pilot, And that's what it should remain, a co pilot. You hold the steering wheel. So, what's next? Take whatever you have learned, experiment with tools, work on real projects, and most importantly, build a compelling portfolio. Build a compelling portfolio so that you can showcase your skills to the world. This is Dr. Homera, your data and AI mentor, and I wish you all the best in the data journey. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. All the best.